It's Week 17 in the National Football League, with the Texans and 49ers squaring off for just the 5th time. San Francisco leads the series 3-1, and they'll go for another one over Houston next.
PA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the so-called Silicon Valley and Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. The scene a short time ago. This crowd, they love their 49ers, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. And we're ready for football as the 49ers get set to do battle with the Houston Texans. Alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you take a look at these 49ers as they interplay here. They come in riding high, just one loss in their last 7 games.
It's a very focused team, very disciplined. They've kept the penalties to a minimum, and they're winning football games.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
Ready to get us started, the Aussie punter and kickoff man Michael Dixon. And we are underway from Santa Clara. And they will elect to not bring this one out as our first drive will begin at the 25. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. They're led by their 6-year quarterback out of North Dakota State, a former Pro Bowler, Carson Wentz.
And he's had a great season so far throwing the football. Very likely could go over 4,000 yards with a good performance here. And even in an age of passing first, that is no small accomplishment.
On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
And now following that last play, I do believe we're going to get a review here. Yes, indeed, the red flag is out. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call. Winds up a very good call there defensively to challenge that one, as that now will wind up an incomplete pass. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 8 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown.
And that put him over 1,000 yards for the season. And the benchmark for running backs, 1,000 yards. The same for receivers. When you have that kind of a year, you've had a monster one.
And this is dropped. Oh, boy. A chance for a big play early, but he could not secure it.
But they certainly came out firing in this one. And while that one was incomplete, I can't imagine that'll be the last shot that they take in this game.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. Well, this defense for the Texans, they were excellent last week in the win over the Chargers.
And every defensive team that we talk to, they spend a lot of time talking about creating turnovers. And anytime you get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really good performance. They exceeded that number in a huge way. They got the football back 4 times in the win.
He's got the hook up to Lazard. And he gets this only to the 41. Not near enough for the first. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he could scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. Marquise Lee deep to return. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their 6-year quarterback, the former #1 overall pick of the draft, Jared Goff.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1.
Well, it's hard to have vision as a runner and find a hole when there's nothing but defenders in your way. They stacked that one up really well. But give him credit. Instead of trying to bounce it out and turn it into a big play, which might have turned into a big loss, Kai just took his medicine there and took the 1 yard.
That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Back deep, it's Deshaun Jackson. Taking it about the 16. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. The 49er offense, they're coming back out onto the field, and we're going to give you a look at the playoff picture now into the weekend in the NFC, and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs, and that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Shotgun now for Wentz. Flush to his right. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a shotgun handoff to Pollard. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now a play fake. Wentz. Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Kenneth Farley. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. He's had it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he had made it all the way to the end zone. This week, he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM that always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
He's going to wind up and air it out. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Kyle Pitts with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Texans on just 2 plays have taken the lead.
And that was a beautiful ball right there as he waited for his tight end to come uncovered in the end zone, so give him points for patience as well. Delivered it right where it needed to be for 6 points.
Jason Myers now for the extra point. And the Texans take a 7-0 lead. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. San Francisco's offense returns to the field. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others. Where they think they have an advantage, dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Play action. Now Wentz. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. Now Wentz on 3rd down. And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete. Here's Thomas Morstead now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now out comes Houston. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Here's Goff. To the right side, it's Kelsey. That catch good for only a couple. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Goff. Open target here, Darius Slayton. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. First and 10, Taylor now. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Goff. This one caught by Lee. And they move this all the way down to the 9.
Well, this is a defense that's definitely on their heels now because they gave up the running play for good yardage 1 play ago. Now the pass here sets this offense up 1st and goal. They're going to have to dig in strong now because they've been in retreat so far in this drive. This offense on the march.
Here's Goff. And it's caught. That's good for a gain of 6. 2nd and goal. Back to throw. Goff. Got a man and he hits him in stride. Touchdown. Travis Kelce. His 11th touchdown of the year. And the Texans lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game.
The big fella was the recipient there for that touchdown pass, and it seems like more and more the tight end is the guy you have to worry about most in the passing game.
The extra point now coming from Myers. And it's good to make it 14-0. That time a 6-play drive. And the gadget play gets him into the end zone. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. They'll run with Pollard to begin the drive. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Wentz now to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. From the gun, it's Wentz. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down. And here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. And some strong running. That'll go as a 39-yard punt, give him 9 on the return. And the football going back over now to the Houston Texans. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. A carry by Taylor to start the drive. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. The numbers for him from a week ago. 15 carries and even 60 yards and a touchdown.
And to me, the goal is the exact same thing as last week. Get him the ball early and often. I think he's got another big game in him in this one.
The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4. Off the option, here's Taylor. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
On 1st down, Goff. Got a man complete, it's Taylor. And he gets it down deep into San Francisco territory. A huge play there for Houston. The thing that hurt on that play, the missed tackle, that allowed the extra yardage.
It's a matchup game in the NFL. You get the guy that you want isolated, have him miss a tackle, and off you go.
This defense porous so far in this first quarter. They face another 1st and goal. They'll run here with Taylor. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. Here's Goff. And he's got his big tight end here. And he'll get nothing out of that one. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
So 3rd and goal, and the 49er faithful making some noise for their defense. Goff now to throw. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
And Myers able to knock it through. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So a great first quarter continues here as they add on to that lead.
And Brandon, I think it sets up what's going to be an important drive because it's now 17-0. So the other guys, they got to figure out something quick before this game gets away from them.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now.
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
17-0 our score after 1. The 49ers with the football here to begin the second quarter as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Pollard going to try the right side, and he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And how about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. On the draw, it's Pollard. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5. Here's Wentz to throw. This is Lazard with a catch out left. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. It'll be a handoff to Pollard. Shreds him with a stiff arm. And he's going to get this inside the 30.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Kenneth Murray, the linebacker, there to make the play defensively. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now Wentz. They'll run the screen with Mitchell. Give them 5 on the screen play, and that'll set up a 3rd down. Now Wentz. Able to find Lazard. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line.
A very important 3rd down conversion right there, because when you're trailing and find yourself this deep in enemy territory, the kicker's not even part of your thought process. You got to make it pay off with 6. Nice connection right there to set up 1st and goal.
49ers with their first trip to the red zone thus far. They've got a 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Now a give here to Pollard. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. Run for Pollard. A nice little juke. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. The ball mere inches from the white line on 3rd and goal. Here's Carter, and he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. Stephen Carter, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the 49ers make some inroads here on that deficit. And that's why you have the fullback, Charles. Couldn't get it into play before with the smaller guy. Turned to a little more power. They score it.
And now it has to warm the hearts of a lot of old-school football fans. They love when they get to see a little bit of power football.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. And it's 17-7. A pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And it's polished off by a touchdown for San Francisco. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. So Jared Goff, he is the focus of our player spotlight. He's showing off that arm, showing it off very well. They've got the lead. Don't forget, though, about the protection he's had. The protection's been good.
And I'll guarantee you he hasn't forgotten about it at all, because that's keeping him clean in the pocket, allowing him to step into throws and make those deep passes come true. I mean, it's just been beautiful for him to do. But guess what? In the huddle, on the sidelines, guaranteed he's thanking those big guys up front for keeping him safe. I have a feeling he made him buy dinner.
Indeed, entertaining to relive some of those deep balls. And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. So, Charles, here we are, Week 17. Both of these teams playing their 16th game of the regular season. Obviously, for decades, that was the full season. But as we all know, a little strange, still one more game to go next week.
Yeah, Brandon, I think we're both interested to see how things play out next week.
And down he goes. The 49ers get there. J.J. Watt in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
But that's what they have to do more of defensively, not just getting sacks, but have to keep getting in his face, not let him get his feet set and deliver. He's been carving them up previously.
Yeah, already has a couple of touchdown passes. About time they put a few grass stains on that jersey. Have an extra defensive back on the field. A nickel set for 3rd down. They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. He's going to let this go deep for Lee. And that nearly intercepted. Boy, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. And instead, it's 4th down. 35 yards that time on the punt. And the Niners set up well. They take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. San Francisco set to go on offense once more. A good balance attack for that last touchdown drive they had. Now it's time to see if they can do that again.
It really becomes a tale of 2 play callers, doesn't it? The offensive guy, he's in sync. Everything's working pretty well. For the defensive
guy, what's going on the defensive side?
That's a tough one, because he's prepped all week as well, and he can't get a bead on exactly what they're doing right now. What he needs is one of his guys just to make a big play and disrupt things.
On 2nd down, it's Pollard. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
Oftentimes when you see a running back get bunched up in the backfield, It's usually because the defensive tackle is eating up blockers for others to make the play. Not in this case.
Come on now.
The Niners on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Throwing is Wentz. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Here's Jake Elliott. Career long, by the way, for him, 61 yards. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. And I tell you what, he got it from 58. That had lots of leg behind it. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Getting set to go again here on offense. Jared Goff trots back onto the field. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence, does a great deal for your team, gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Goff now looking to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. From the shotgun, it's a give to Bell. And a good swarm of the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Gone. And this is going to be incomplete. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Houston. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. 40 yards on the punt, 2 on the return, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. San Francisco's offense returns to the field, and fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
And now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see.
Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in 2nd and long yardage.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Now Pollard. And this Texans defense, they're all charged up now. They stopped him behind the line for the 2nd straight play. Just a loss of a yard there, but it's not going to help. Now they face a 3rd and 14.
Anthony Barr got a real education at UCLA in playing not just his normal position of stand-up outside linebacker, but down defensive end. So he had to incorporate a variety of moves, take on bigger people. So he learned great leverage while he was there. That really helps him when he's trying to stop people running the ball.
Born in South Bend, Indiana. Thought about going back to go to Notre Dame, but you're right. Great career at UCLA and now a great career in the NFL. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. Here's Thomas Morstead now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. Getting set to go again here on offense. Jared Goff trots back onto the field. They've got the lead. He's a big reason why. Looking sharp so far.
And as we travel around the league, we see quarterbacks get it done in a variety of ways. But today's NFL does tell us one thing. If that guy doesn't play well, their team's not going to win. And right now he's got his team in the lead.
And now they'll look to extend that lead. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner. 2nd and 9. On the handoff, this is Taylor. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
Let's go!
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now Goff taps this forward. That's a jet sweep. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. And the Niners get there and bring him down. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. On 3rd down, here's Taylor. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. So possession goes over here on the punt. An NFL update. They're in the 2nd quarter in Baltimore. And it's the Ravens that have moved out to an early advantage. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 38. To throw is Wentz. Buying time to his left. And he's going to lose a yard or two. Taken down behind the line. Now Wentz signaling frantically, let's get to the line. And incomplete on the deep ball. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. That one taken in by Dwayne Eskridge. And he's going to have a Niners first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Wentz now on 1st down. Swinging this out for Pollard. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. Wentz to throw again. Escaping the pressure right. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the 2nd quarter.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
The kick by Elliott is good. And that will cut this lead back down to 4 now. It's 17-13. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. He'll take the knee, and the final couple seconds will tick by in this first half. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we send you cross-country to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Moving on, let's take a look at the next-gen stats for the Texans in that first half. And even though they've got the lead, they're likely going over ways they can improve the running game, as they didn't find a whole lot of success in those first two quarters. Meanwhile, for the Niners, they had a little bit more success on the ground than their opponents did, and that just set them up well for the second half to come.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. And no fireworks to start the half. This will be a touchback. For the Texans getting ready to go here to begin the third quarter. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple...
It got his man complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A big connection on that one. 36 yards.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now Goff. He'll check it down to Bell. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Throwing again on 2nd down. Goff. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there. To give to Taylor here. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29.
We ought to come up with a T-shirt and sell it that says no indecision on 3rd and 1. And we didn't see it on that run, did we? Got his shoulders square, just got right into the line of scrimmage and picked it up.
Absolutely. Picked his lane, went with it, and converted.
Oh, don't be scared. Let's take these Texans draw.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Taylor. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. The defensive end, Cameron Wake, brings him down. Here's 2nd and 10. They'll try the air now with Goff. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Cheetah Bay Aluzier with a pick. The 30. 10. To the end zone, a pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown.
Well, I think we all know the turnovers have a way of deciding games, and before you say something snarky, I realize that's not particularly astute. But in this case, how about the evidence right here in the 3rd quarter? They've got the lead, moving the football, things looking good, and then...
Yeah, so now a flip on the scoreboard with that pick 6, and I don't know, the rest of this second half shaping up to be very interesting. Elliott now to add the extra point. And that one gives him a 3-point lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again here on offense, Jared Goff trots back onto the field. And he's probably wondering, how do I get that mojo back from the first half that he seems to have lost a little bit here in the 3rd quarter?
And every guy has his whisperer on the team. You know, that one guy who can say things to him that other people can't. Right now, he's looking for that guy to kind of, hey, we're good. We're good. 1 interception. Just get it back. Get back to being who you are. And this team will be okay.
Yeah, because they led at halftime, trailing now. And now following the incomplete pass, we'll get a timeout here for an injured player. While the training staff works on him, We'll step aside and be right back. 2nd and 10. Goff now looks to throw. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Harrison Smith on the safety blitz, able to get the sack. But it was 2nd long, now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Here's Goff. Airing it out deep for Woods. And that nearly intercepted. Boy, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. But instead, it's 4th down. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The 49ers offense making its way back out there. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. The best way to do it? Touchdowns.
And a nice milestone reached on that last throw is here late in the season. He goes over 4,000 yards passing.
And he's really thrown the ball well all season long. Had some big games along the way. He's inspired his receiving corps to go out and make plays for him in each and every ball game.
Throwing on first is Wentz. Trying to get it to Jackson, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Kevin Farley. And the Texans are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll check on his status when we get back. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. To throw is Goff. And that'll be incomplete.
They're going to give out a little applause on that play. It has to go to the defense. More good work by them. They've taken away the passing lanes all game long, and you can see the frustration that it's causing because he just about threw that one into the first row.
And he can only manage to get this to the 45-yard line. Well short of the first. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Now here's Michael Dixon as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. They went with the run-pass option, and I don't know if the option really mattered there because the defense was ready.
So many times you put the defense at a disadvantage because you have those multiple options, but when they read their keys and play it correctly, sometimes the result goes in their favor.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. Now whistles here, and I think one of the big boys for the 49ers might have jumped. And that'll set them back 5. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Now Wentz. Flushed out right. And he will slide down with a good gain. A breakdown defensively there as the scramble is going to set him up with a much more manageable 3rd down. Throwing now is Wentz. Flush to his right. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th. Here's Thomas Morstead now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is taken around the 12. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Getting set to go again here on offense, Jared Goff trots back onto the field. He's hoping to channel his first half play. They had the lead at halftime, was playing well. Flip the script here in the 3rd quarter a little bit.
I think he misses the Pee-wee days, you know, when you just got the orange slice at halftime, right? And remember, there weren't any real adjustments then, right? You weren't looking at some tape, right? You weren't looking at stuff off of the circus tablets. You just went back out and played. Right now, maybe the adjustments have caught up to him.
We'll see. Maybe he just needs a couple orange slices here for this drive. And movement here by one of the Texans up front. In comes the flag. Ooh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
A bad false start penalty there. Now 2nd and 6. They give to Taylor out of the gun. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Goff. That's caught left side to tight end Pitts. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Excellent job there defensively. Gave up the underneath to the tight end on 3rd down, and they made sure that they did their job. Got him on the ground and prevented him picking up a 1st down.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Houston. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll be second and about a yard to go for the first.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
On second down now, it's Mitchell.
Second and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. But the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? You just get on our backs, and we'll still get the first down. They love being physical.
Now left side on the swing pass. No gain on the play. And that'll make it second and 10. Wentz going to bat this forward on the jet sweep. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. Now Wentz on third down. He'll find Lazard here over the middle. And he is going to have a 49ers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that's well executed there on third down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
So a first and 10 now in Houston territory at the 45-yard line. Again, it's Wentz. And this one's incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a second and 10. To throw, it's Wentz. That's complete to Lazard. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with third and 1.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Gotta say, I was a little surprised to see him try to come out in the shotgun on third and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On first down, Wentz. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. Alan Lazard with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the 49ers add on to their lead.
Well, that's certainly going to bump up the old win probability index because now it's a 2-score game here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you're taking me into that deep water now. Win probability index. This game's definitely not over. We're not looking at a 0.5% or something. It's just 2 scores. But the way that this team is playing, to me, what I've seen, they absolutely deserve to win this game. They've been the better team by far throughout.
Elliott good on the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And the end result for the 49ers, a touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away.
Takes it at the 7.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
The Texans getting set here to take over again on offense. And the script really is flipped for them. The momentum on the other sideline, and now they have to try and battle back from a 2-score deficit. They'll run with Taylor to begin the drive.
They'll be dropped at the 30. The shifty move couldn't free him.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Here's Goff. Completes it to Lee. A gain of 4 last play. They double that here and get 8. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Goff. Now this will be swung out wide for Taylor. His second catch. This one not quite as dynamic as his first. And it's 2nd down. A shotgun snap for Goff. Hit as he throws. He lost the football. It's loose. But I think a Texan player was able to get his hands on it, and they will indeed hold on to the ball and the possession. Fortunate to get that football back, because trailing here in the second half, last thing they needed was to lose the possession.
And the word I think of here is opportunity, because it could have been lost there. Their chance to score points. But the opportunity for the defense was to go ahead and really close this game down if they were able to get possession.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down. Goff. He'll check this one down to Taylor. That'll bring up 4th down. They wind up getting 8 yards, but they needed more than that.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Houston. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. San Francisco set to go on offense once more. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking 1st downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, 1st downs, they can't touch the ball.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Wentz now to throw. Over the middle to Beckham. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. Wentz going to bat this forward on the jet sweep. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. Well, they tried to catch him by surprise, I think, there with that little pop pass on 3rd down, but no luck.
You're right about no luck, but I did like the idea. I like the thought process. Make an unconventional call on 3rd down sometimes. It can pop big. In this case, it didn't.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. A 40-yard punt, no return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Houston set to take over. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. To throw again on 2nd down. Goff. He's going to let one fly for Tate. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Goff now looking to throw. Got a man, Slayton. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Now Goff. Then he'll find his target. Woods, it's complete. And this will be good. Pickup of 9 to the 46. On 2nd down, it's Taylor. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the 1st down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
And he is going to have a Texans 1st down, and comfortably so, as he gets 5 there on 3rd and a yard.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Now Goff on 1st down. He's going to air it out deep for Woods.
And a high throw there as this is knocked away, down to the ground and incomplete.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Goff now to throw. Fighting through, but now he's swallowed up and taken down. J.J. Watt has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
This defense, they just continue to feast. 5 sacks now as a unit. It's been quite an afternoon getting to the quarterback.
And we're seeing it come from a variety of places as well. Sometimes just the guys up front getting to him. Other times you add extra guys rushing the quarterback, twists and stunts. It's been a variety, and they've had no way of blocking them.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Desperation time for Goff on 4th. Airing it out deep for Woods.
And that went a little too high as it's knocked away and incomplete.
The Texans tried it, but they come up empty here on 4th. And the Niners take over in terrific field position. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
Once again here on 2nd and 10. And this is incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Throwing is Wentz.
Checks this one down, it's Mitchell.
And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. To throw is Wentz. Steps away to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. They'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
Works his way inside the 30 on a pickup of 4.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he's going to have the Niners first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. On first down, it's Mitchell, and he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. On second down, a run with Lindsey, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. And quickly, we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. On third down, Mitchell wiggles free, and they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. The Texans going to signal for their third and final timeout, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And they will take a knee here. Now from the 9, here's second and goal. A run with Lindsey out of the gun. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, third and goal. Wentz with a kneel down, and that will be the final act of this game.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
So the victory here for San Francisco. And, you know, it wasn't a shutout. They did give up the points in the first quarter, but second, third, and fourth quarter, they held them scoreless.
Brandon, if you throw a shutout for quarters 2, 3, and 4, you can win a lot of games in this league. And this felt a lot like, almost like if you say baseball, and the pitcher goes through the lineup the first time and the hitters get to see him, and then they come out after that and the bats start blazing, right? I think they saw their best stuff in the first quarter and just shut everything down from that point on. What a great, convincing performance.
So for San Francisco, they get an important win here to move to 11-5 on the year.